happen here in Miami. I have no doubt about this.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Guys, we are live today on this beautiful Saturday, March 28, 2020, as we all practice social distancing, and I hope that you're practicing it. It's going to definitely help so many people not put others at risk. So make sure that you think about others during these times. As you all come into the room, you all hit that like button. What's up, Finsanity? How you doing, girl?
Hey, listen, back-to-back days in less than 24 hours. What do you have
Get
me
it.
doing, man?
Hey, this is what it's about, right? We're here to show some love and talk about our team. Have some special things coming you guys' way. A lot of good topics today that we want to talk about. So, how's social distancing going on your end?
Oh man, listen, it's great. I have been Harry Pottering my life away. The Office, I've found The Office. That's really good. And just being able to be around my family, my immediate family, because we're here. It's amazing. It's a blessing. Miss going out. Hi, Dad. Speaking of family, but it's a blessing in disguise. I'm just taking it in stride for what it is, taking it one day at a time, and knowing that as Americans and as America, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna pull through this, but we got to do it together. So,
yes,
fins up, family. Let's get through this so we can get to this football season.
Fins up, and like Finsanity 5 said, man, we're gonna get through this, but let's make sure that we're all doing our own individual part, not relying on just the government or anything to help us just get through it. This is one of those situations where we all got to pull together and do our part, making sure that we don't put ourselves, our families, and others at risk. So I'm just saying this. Nobody's told me to say this, but make sure you go online. I know it's a lot of strolling on phones right now because a lot of boredom has set in for some people. Mm-hmm. But while you're strolling, go online, look at some of the recommendations, look at some of what the CDC mandates. That way you can make sure that you're helping everyone by making sure that you understand what it takes to overcome what's going on right now. So y'all gotta do your research, gotta do your part. Let's help the world get through this. I don't know if I can say that any better way, but yes, man, we're here. Brighter days. We're happy just to be here, guys. Brighter days. At the end of the day, we got football. It may not be lined up on the field right now playing, but we know that we're going to get on the other side of this and we're going to see some great football. And when we see that great football, it's going to be coming from our team, the Miami Dolphins. Finally, relevance. I mean, relevance. I mean, legitimate relevance. Nobody can tell me in the last 20 years that we were relevant. I don't care about the year we went to the playoffs. We still weren't relevant. We are about to enter a phase of relevance. Finsanity, how do you feel about that? The word relevance and the Miami Dolphins being associated in the same sentence.
Oh, man. Listen. It fills your heart with joy and excitement, man. Listen, I'm up here with the Jets fan base and, they get on it so hard. But knowing that, I know people, when you go to work and you say you're a Dolphins fan or you're out in public with your Dolphins gear on, people, might cut their eye at you sideways or something like that, or say they suck. And I mean, whenever somebody comes from my team, I got to read their team for filth no matter what, because you're not just going to sit here and talk about my team, but to be able to compete. Like, it's going to be so good watching football on Sundays, man. It's going to, you're going to have that, adrenaline going, like, man, we're going to go in there and give some teams the business. And it's due. Like, we really need to go on our own ether tour and really, burn this league up real quick, because they have been, using us as a footnote for a while. They haven't been covering us the way that they cover a lot of teams. And I mean, some of it, we did it to ourselves, but times are changing, and I'm here for it. I'm here for winning some divisional titles. I'm here for some home playoff games, right? I'm here for everything that Ross, Greer, and Flores, have for us, because this is a time. I know a lot of us growing up, people in my generation and age, we have not had the glory days, and we need to start having our moments to talk about. Just talking about the 70s and Dan Marino is fun, but we need our own stories and to tell our future kids and children and the next generation. So when they ask, why are you a Dolphins fan? It's not because of something you didn't see, while you were alive. It's something that they did, personally for you, and the moments that they created each and every Sunday. And then, January and February, Super Bowls.
Man, Finsanity, you got me over here thinking when you said all of that. One thing that it just hit me. It hit me in the face when you said it. You said, better days are coming. We're gonna have some home playoff games. And that when you said those words, they just slapped me in the face. When is the last time we've had a home playoff game?
I'm gonna defer that to y'all.
I don't even know the answer to it. But if somebody can look that up for us, let us know in the comment section. Be a good Samaritan. I don't even want to dread touching my keyboard typing in when is the last, because I want one of y'all to give me the news. I might throw my computer when I see it. So,
and who was it against? Please.
Oh yeah, who was it against? And how bad did we lose? See, I'm not even gonna jump to say we won. How bad did we lose? See, and we gotta. That's what I mean by relevance. That's how long we've been. Somebody said 2008. I don't know if it was 2008. A home game? Maybe I'm off here. Y'all let me know in the comment section. Put it all together. Oh, 2008 lost to the Ravens. So the Ravens came in our house and beat us in 2008. 12 years. In the last time before that was probably another 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, that does make sense because we won the division with the Wildcat that year. Remember? I think that was the Wildcat year, was it? 2008 around that time.
12
that makes sense.
years. Oh my gosh, Insanity.
Lost them in 2001 also. Yeah, the Ravens have been, oh my gosh. That's a team, oh my gosh, that I can, hopefully, and Raven isn't in here yet. That is a team that I am so yearning to beat.
That's why they tier 2 for me. Jets, Bills, Patriots are tier 1 for me. Just I dislike. Ravens are tier 2. Pittsburgh's tier 2, and Cincinnati is tier 2. There might be one more I ain't thinking about. But those are my tier 2. I can't stand teams because they've always kicked us out, man. What's up, Reason, man? What's going on, man?
What's good, bro? How you doing?
Man, we sitting here just kicking it for a little bit, talking about our Dolphins in general, man. How you feeling?
Not too bad. I'm going to make the argument that we were relevant when we had Ricky Williams because he was always a big threat and he's always challenging. Guy was challenging for MVP.
So are we going to say relevant like the Dolphins have a shot at making a Super Bowl run?
Well, I mean, a lot of people's definition of relevant is, or success, as we've heard, is making it to the first round and getting knocked out. So,
well, I'm glad that you prefaced that with that's what some people see it as, because I don't.
I don't either. But I mean, I know the argument of a Bill O'Brien, and my whole thing was, I mean, the guy's getting knocked out. Yeah, he did it for 3 years, but now what?
It's funny. It's funny you say that because right here, right now, we are going to establish some rules, man. Finsanity, Reason, y'all give me y'all thoughts, and we're gonna come up because I'm tired of this stuff that floats out there. Like, this is what you define success. That's what you define as success, right? In the NFL, I'm not talking about for an individual team. But for an individual team in the NFL, bigger picture, what is success to you all? And then I'll give you what success is to me.
You want to go first, Reason, or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. Success for a team?
No, just like the bigger scheme of things. NFL, for an NFL team, what is success? I'm not talking about you sucked for 40 years and only won 2 games in 40 years and success is winning 6. No, what is the ultimate success in the NFL? Anything short of that is a failure.
Success is being able to consistently compete. Being in the AFC or NFC championship where, you're an actual threat to going to the Super Bowl. And actually in that you have to win a Super Bowl because if you keep getting there, what's the point? But you have to be a threat. Like when teams see that you're on their schedule and fan bases see that, it's not a write-off game. It's you're going to have to go in there and fight and compete, and that the other team's not going to lay down, and that they're actually scared because they know that team is a team that can actually beat them, not a team who like, oh, if we don't go out and put forth our best effort, then they might catch us or something like that. But a team who, when they come into your stadium or you walk into their stadium, they're about the business of football. And it also, like I said, has to come with a Super Bowl or 2 or 3 or 4, or however many you can get during that, sustainability, because there are roster changes over all the time. But to me, that's what it is. It has to be consistency, though. It has to be, there's levels to it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So I can actually, because I've told you guys before, like I'm big on hockey as well. I'm a Penguins fan. Okay. So since 2008, they've been to 4 cups, they've won 3, and they've been to 5 conference finals. That is very successful. To me, if teams aren't afraid of you, if you aren't constantly considered a conference threat to win it all, and then you go, like, look at it this way. Think of this. Let's go back to the Texans. The way they were building, right? And they get knocked out in the first round. You're going to ask anyone on that team, were we a success this year? They're going to say no. You know what I mean? Because, that wild card round, that's good for the first 2 years of you trying to get there. But now I want to see divisional. I want to see conference. And you know what? I think if you're here you go. Perfect example. I think if the Colts hadn't won the Super Bowl, but they were always in the conference finals or they were always in the divisional round, to me, that's a successful team without winning a Super Bowl, right? Like if you're constantly in the divisional round and you're constantly threatening for that conference final spot, you're a successful team. To me, wild card doesn't mean anything. To me, wild card is only good for when you're starting out. When you're starting to build, when you've opened that window, like I've talked about this before, I don't think this free agency has shown to me that they're trying to create a 4 to 5 year window. Not that they're trying to do a 2-year rebuild. So if we're going for a 4 or 5 year window, I think I want to at least see a conference championship appearance in 4 to 5 years. Or to me, what have you built? Like I know EM, God bless him, said, well, I would rather take the Houston Texans last 3 or 4 years than the last 20 years of the Dolphins. But would you? Because the last 3 or 4 years have led the Houston Texans to this point, whereas the last 20 years have led us to this point. And I would rather be at this point than where the Texans are at this point. So to me, success, I get winning, I get championships. I understand it's way harder because there's only 16 games in the schedule. But to me, and I know they're expanding playoffs in the schedule in 2021, but to me, with football, if you're constantly a conference threat to win the conference and represent the Super Bowl, you are successful in other teams' eyes and analysts' eyes because they must fear you. So that to me is, I want to see divisional round at least consistently to say we've had somewhat of a successful run.
But hold up, let me also add to that, because if that's what we're defining as success, that also means that our front office is doing an amazing job. Mm-hmm. It means that our front office are bringing in the right pieces. They're building through the draft, and they're, keeping the wheel going, as I like to call it, because guys are going to leave, but who's going to fill that position, and how do you keep that wheel going? So to me, that also is, and the changing of our front office, sometimes that's where it starts and bringing in new minds. But that too has to go with success, because it starts with leadership and having the right, leaders in the room from the top down.
Well, if you think about it, if you want to be a Super Bowl champion, you realistically have to successfully draft. That's actually, successfully drafting is actually more important than free agency if you want to be a championship team. So you're right. Success, a lot of people, I don't want to use this word, but I will. A lot of people are narrow-minded. So they just see the product on the field and they just base success on that. But success comes from the top down. I mean, look at the Browns, perfect example, right? They had all the pieces to be successful, but the coach wasn't in place. Look at the Bengals right now. A lot of people are doubting whether Burrow and them are going to be successful because of Mike Brown and who they got all the way high up there. Not the talent on the field, but people are saying they might not be successful because of who they got in the front office. So I totally agree. Management plays a significant role in a team being successful, and especially at the draft.
So let me give you my take, because both of you make some great points, and I'm gonna piggyback on some of what both of you said, because it kind of ties in with my definition of success. So I'm gonna give you the definitions of success, and then I'm gonna give you the definition, and these are self-made definitions. I want everybody watching to know that, okay? And my ultimate definition of success. So my first definition of success is anything above stagnation. Okay. Anything above stagnation or worse. And what I mean by that is, take Phillip Rivers, for instance. What has he done in the NFL? What has his career produced from a postseason standpoint? You see? So just because you're competing and going to the playoffs every year, if it's a stagnated, like think about when we were going, we would lose in the first round every chance we got. Yeah. Every chance we got, we gave up our lives to be in the playoffs just to lose. A lot of us don't know how it feels to go to the second round. So at the end of the day, you can win games every year and you can lose in the first round every year. That's not success because that constitutes stagnation for me. Mm-hmm. Success is building a product that is competing every year, right? Mm-hmm. They're definitely competing every year, but you're seeing the outline of the team and how they're getting better. And let me go further into that because I want to define ultimate success real quick. Ultimate success isn't winning a Super Bowl. Ultimate success is building a system where you have a Super Bowl team right now. And I want to walk y'all down a hypothetical road to get my point across here, okay? You have a Super Bowl winning team right now. Say we get the safety that we want, the best one in the draft. Say we get the best defensive tackle in the draft. We all can agree we have the potential of having a historic defense, okay? Now, you go on offense and you grab the quarterback you want. Say it's Tua Tagovailoa. His hip is fine. He starts day one and he's a Super Bowl quarterback. He's great, right? You can go get your O-line. You can get your run game. We just have the personnel right now to get it done. Mm-hmm. Now, when we get it done, that was a successful season, but it didn't spell success for the franchise. What spells success and ultimate success for the franchise is being able to produce players that aren't starting, that are going to take the starter's position when the starter's contract is up. To be able to say, we have the best left tackle in football, but the person sitting behind him has the potential to be the best left tackle in football and is good enough to start now. Best left tackle in the game's contract come up. Thank you for your services with the Miami Dolphins. Go out and make your money. We're about to promote your replacement. And being able to do that on a consistent basis is the ultimate success. You know why? Because the ultimate success shouldn't be anything less than a dynasty. The highest pillar for a franchise is creating a dynasty. I don't know any higher pillar than that. Mm-hmm. That is the highest. That's above winning one Super Bowl. That's above winning 2 Super Bowls. The ultimate clear-cut goal of an organization and franchise is to create a dynasty, because once you have a dynasty, everything is on autopilot. Everything is on autopilot. And the only thing that can hurt that is greatness getting older, like Tom Brady. Greatness getting older, and you're thinking about maintaining a dynasty, so you got to get off of it and maintain your principles. Even the great Tom Brady had to go at some point because it was something he disliked that the team was unwilling to budge on, and it came to a clash, and he made his decision to walk. So at the end of the day, the thing that I fear the most is New England Patriots. Everybody wants to sit around and think that their relevance is just going to flatline because of Brady. I was talking to Finsanity backstage, and I want to get your thoughts, Reason, and I want to hear from Finsanity on this again. Is my biggest fear is that by the end of all of this, the Patriots end up with the best quarterback in the AFC East within the next 2 years. Because think about it, if the Patriots end up with the best quarterback in the AFC East within the next 2 years, That should be our biggest fear of stopping us from having that ultimate goal. What's your thoughts?
I agree, because that would just be them basically literally hitting the reset button. I mean, I was going to say, when you're talking about producing, like getting rid of the left tackle, the next man up is able to start. When you look around, okay? When you look at the defensive line, I mean, the offensive linemen they produce, the defensive linemen produce, the linebackers have gone to other places. To be honest with you, the more successful people that have left that are backups have been Jacoby Brissett and Jimmy G, the quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. And like me and EM, I mean, weeks ago when Winston got released, me and him were talking, and I said to him, I said, bro, imagine if Jameis Winston goes to New England Patriots and somehow, some way, Belichick can work the turnover problem out of him. I said, you got a scary situation because they're right back to where they were. But I actually think Jarrett Stidham's going to actually surprise a lot of people.
I was scared Tannehill would end up in New England. That's
another name that I was hearing if Tom Brady went to Tennessee, Tannehill to New England. But I'm still worried that they're going to be more than serviceable with Jarrett Stidham. So, because from everything I understand, he really developed well last year, and that was another reason why they were like, okay, but bye, Tom. I mean, they didn't even offer Tom money. Belichick got to be that comfortable if he did not offer Tom Brady money.
It's crazy to me, Reason, that you say that. And I'm going to get right back to you. I just have to cut in because it's a good conversation. The crazy part to this is this. For some reason, Dolphins Nation, I get blown up all day. You don't understand. Instagram, Twitter. Finally, the New England dynasty is over. What makes you think that? They've been able to replace every single elite player on their roster over the last 20 years and find just as good as replacement. Mind you, even better because the just as good replacement was already on the team while the star was there. Mm-hmm. They have been able to let player after player every single year walk, and people say, "Oh, it's going to be hard to replace him." Then you don't even mention the replacement, but it's all working. So the ultimate test for a Bill Belichick team is going to be Tom Brady is gone. Can you replace that and it still be the same? Can it still win 11 plus games a season?
He did that with Castle, didn't he?
I know. I was just going to bring that up. He's done it with Castle, but it's been 1 year. This is the first time that he's going to have to.
What's sliding under the radar a lot for me is, people are like, oh, Jared said, like, yo, guys, I don't think you realize he sat under a year under Brady and saw how Brady prepared. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he's just getting thrown out there. He literally just watched the GOAT, how he prepares in the system, how he gets ready for game day, what he studies, et cetera, man. Like, it's not like the guy just had a 1 year tutelage of one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. And we saw Castle learn from Brady, Brissett learn from Brady, Jimmy G learn from Brady. Now you got Stidham learn from Brady. That's why I don't believe this whole talk that they're tanking for Trevor, man. I don't believe that one bit at all.
And this is why I urge Miami Dolphin fans to stop worrying about if their dynasty is over. Mm-hmm. We should be trying to build something that can defeat the dynasty they had in its prime. We shouldn't be worried about whether or not it's over because those type of teams will always surface. It's just they have done it more consistently than anyone. So we need to really focus on building a team that can still beat the Patriots with Tom Brady in his prime and a team around him in his prime. We're losing focus and bringing our bar lower because Tom Brady is gone.
Last week the over-under was them finishing with 9 wins and us only finishing with 6. Uh-huh. Well, so, I mean, even Vegas is looking at it like, yeah, it's still the Belichick's. It's still the Patriots. We still expect like 9 wins. And I could very well see them getting 8 or 9 wins just if their defense shows up. I mean, there were 2 or 3 games last year out of that first 8 games where Brady didn't even throw a touchdown, right?
Yep.
And they were winning games. So yeah, you can't discount them. And you can't discount Bill Belichick because the problem is this guy he wants to prove he can win without Brady.
Yep.
Just as much as Brady wants to prove he can win without him. And a determined Bill Belichick scares me. So, I mean, go ahead, Finsanity. But yeah, that worries me.
Yeah, I mean, like just getting to Vegas, that was the point I was going to piggyback off of. They're still the odds-on favorite to win the division. Period. So even with the Bills adding Stephon Diggs, and think about how big of a move that is for their offense, Vegas still has a lot of respect on their name. And and I was telling TD, I said, could you imagine if he just goes out and drafts defensive players this year and fills all those holes back up, and you think Stidham's the guy? Like, it's going to be fun. Like, think this. One thing about it is that we know the Patriots aren't going to hand anything to anybody, no matter what. So if you're going to take the AFC East, which is, all of our goal, it's not just the Bills, it's the Patriots. And a team that's really slept on is the Jets, because they dealt with a lot of injuries themselves last year. I mean, we throw our, hat in because of Gase, but don't forget he did get us to the playoffs one year. But that's neither here nor there. We're not going to rant on about Gase. But yeah, Belichick, one thing about him is he will find a loophole if there's a loophole to be found. He will find a role that he can exploit. He will do anything and everything to win. I just like that our team focused on getting a defense that could compete as well on the opposite side of the field, because it goes back to what TD has always said. If you can't score, you can't win, right? So I really think we're going to have a lot of great defensive matchups within the division, and it might come down to some special teams play. And if we all know one thing, the New England special teams is locked down. Like, they will pin you inside your 10, inside your 5 on consecutive drives. The next thing you know, even if they can't get the ball in the end zone, they're racking up field goals on you because they always bring in an amazing kicker. So we can, scenario it down. At the end of the day, that is a very scary thought. If Jared Stidham, because I was looking at some of his throws and passes and stuff like that, if he is what they believe him to be, it's going to be a lot, to be said. Because I'm personally not going through another 20 years of this.
Did you see him at Baylor? Did you see him at Baylor?
Oh, no, I did not.
He threw 12 touchdowns in 3 games at Baylor. And then you know better than anyone because you're an SEC fan. Then he went to Auburn, and Auburn isn't a throwing offense.
Right.
But if you go watch his film in Baylor, and that's what worried me. It wasn't the Auburn film. It was the Baylor film where I was like, oh, boy, this guy can not only sling it, he can make throws from a lot of different angles, man. So I think people are really sleeping on Jarrett Stidham, man. And like even mock drafts, I've seen mocks where Jordan Love falls to 23 and they take him. I see them taking a guy like Zach Bond at 23 because that's your perfect replacement for Kyle Van Noy. Like I think they're going to go defense. I think they're going to 110%.
Yeah, because you still have Sony Michel. He had a off year, but you still got him and Burkhead, right? So you still have your running game intact. And who knows what N'Keal Harry's going to be after a full year. He came in only half of the year, so that chemistry wasn't there, but I'm pretty sure he was working out with Stidham when he was going through his rehab. Edelman will be back fully healthy. I don't know what they're doing at the tight end position, and I don't know if Dorsett has decided to actually catch balls this year, but they have some pieces. We can't just negate him.
Harry's got a lot of potential in this. Another scary thing is, Belichick doesn't draft receivers as high as he drafted Harry. So you got to watch out for that one. Yeah. I had him stashed in a lot of fantasy leagues last year because I expected the kid to tear it up when he got healthy. Just never happened.
I had that one Oluski or whoever that kid was. Yeah, I had him kind of stored away, but he never came on. He was just a special teamer. Shaking my head.
And I wanted to clarify because some people make sure they understand. We definitely shouldn't fear the Pats. No. Of course we shouldn't, but we should always try to build be mindful and build our team to beat the best of them. You want to build your team to beat a historic team. If there's no historic teams this year, then still want to build your team to beat a historic team. That's the ultimate goal, man.
And there's only 16 games. You can't right now until 2021 when there's 17. You can't afford to underestimate anyone because every game matters. So,
especially with our schedule, Jesus.
For sure.
So that schedule, the schedule that we have that came out, guys. So based off of free agency, because I know I haven't done my research on every team yet. I've been looking at a few of the moves that a lot of the teams have made, but with what we know now, with our schedule, is it still a hard schedule?
I think the division got easier because of our secondary. I actually, like I said, I could legitimately see us winning 5 of the 6 and losing the 1 in Buffalo. That's what I actually personally think. End of the day, Buffalo is going to be the team that worries me the most. Yeah. Just because their trajectory, they got momentum, et cetera, et cetera. I don't foresee a step back this year. And they lost pieces, but they added a bunch of good pieces too. Like, they didn't slack. It seemed like for the first 2 days, they were keeping up with us move for move. Like they even replaced Shaq Lawson right away. But like, we go get Byron Jones, they go get Stephon Diggs. You know what I mean? Like it kept happening. So I actually graded them. I think I think I had them after day 3. I think they were the second best team in free agency behind us.
And this is what I was also going to because normally the schedule gets released the week before the draft. So if they're still having the draft, I wonder if they're still working on a schedule release, because I think that'll give the fan base a tone of how optimistic they are about if we're going to be able to have a season this year. But it kind of depends when you play, guys. I mean, we could probably win Jacksonville. I can see us Denver. I can see us being Denver, Buffalo. Arizona's going to be fun. You get to have.
I wanted to go through this real quick, because I want to ask y'all some questions. I want to start with Arizona. Is that team better than the Miami Dolphins right now?
Offensively, 110%.
110% offensively, and offensively, what makes them better?
The quarterback, and I think the receiving core is better right now. I think their O-line, even though I've kind of crapped on it a few times, their O-line, they re-signed Humphreys. They extended him. Their O-line is okay, but the way I shape our O-line's in right now, I don't think our O-line's better than them. I think they're like that, Arizona here, like Miami here in terms of O-line. They're not very good O-lines, but my difference is that O-line breaks down. I'm taking Kyler Murray every day and twice on Sundays over Ryan Fitzpatrick.
So when you say that, because I'm not going to look at it as the quarterback battle, I want to play it like this. So how good is their offense in relation to our defense if we get the right nose tackle in the draft and we get the right safety? How good is their offense versus our defense?
I don't know, man. I mean, they beat Seattle last year, and they weren't this good. And, they played way better at the end of the year. They gave San Francisco's defense absolute headaches both times they played them, and they almost beat them one of the times. So I'm going to go back to the quarterback. I think Kyler Murray's –
he's a difference maker.
Yeah, exactly. I think because of what his legs can do.
And what he does in the fourth quarter. He turns it up 20 notches.
Exactly. That's his bread and butter. How many comeback wins did he have last year out of the 5? Like 3 of them were comeback wins.
So how good is our offense against their defense?
I got to see Howard on the field healthy. Because if we can run the ball, we can keep the ball out of their hands, and our defense is good enough to get some stops and hold them to field goals when they get in the red zone. That's not a problem. It's about us not being a one-dimensional team. But I mean, like we said, we're going to probably draft a guy. So depending on who we draft and if they come in healthy and how much time they get to prepare during this quarantine period, a lot will be said with that. Once the Miami Dolphins get a clearer picture with their run game, a lot of things, we're going to look even more dangerous than what we are right now. Like, a lot of people have to realize that. And then we've also built a defense that's able to stop the run in the pass. So it's going to be about, when we get teams like Arizona that can, do both, we have to make them one-dimensional to our strength at the time. Like, Larry Legend is Larry Legend for a reason. And then you put him with Christian Kirk and DeAndre Hopkins. Now you're saying we would rather you run the ball with Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, but Kenyon going to be running with a purpose in that game. So he had that he had that match circled. He had that game circled as soon as the schedule came out.
So and it depends when we play them.
So Aaron, that's true too. And that's the only factor we don't have right now. But let's and where, if it's on the road or home. But we're just talking. That's
our first four games are on the road, I think.
Yeah, well, this isn't the order.
No, not yet.
Yeah, this is just the teams. So I want to ask you all this. Last question about Arizona. Is it a winnable game?
Yes.
Yeah, it's winnable.
Okay. Well, I mean, and when I say that, we know that every game is winnable, but you know the ones I'm talking about. Is it one that, hey, if we do X, Y, and Z, we can go in there and get that win? Because there should be teams that we're like, I think that they beat us, just hands down. You know,
when Finsanity last stream and the stream before went over the thing, and I changed my decision from 8-8 to 10-6 or whatever. I actually had Arizona as one of the 6 losses.
Okay, nice.
I honestly believe with the mentality that Flores is going to have these guys going in with, it's definitely winnable.
So Buffalo
quarterback.
Buffalo, we feel like we split.
Yeah, I do at least.
Finsanity?
Huh?
Speak to us. She better not be thinking what I'm thinking, but she better not be thinking what I think she's thinking. Let me put it like that, because we're gonna take your Dolphin card away.
Oh man, yeah. I'm not. Oh, EM's here. Hey, EM, you gotta
don't deflect. Don't deflect. Go ahead, tell her.
Well, she's not. If she's thinking what I think she's thinking, she's not wrong because it's very feasible.
Stop reasoning. Don't be second to her emotion, man.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
I want to hear yes or no first.
No, I'm going to get grilled for this.
Yo, I just want you to realize, if you think we're gonna lose both these games, I said this a couple weeks ago, and people started calling me Bills fans a Bill fan in the comment section. So I'm just giving you the heads up, okay?
For what it is worth, I will say this. We finally have linebackers and edge rushers that hopefully could put Josh Allen on the ground. But if we do not get that man on the ground, which we have not done in recent years, then it's easily we're losing both. But all praises be because we've brought these guys in. Because, I mean, think about what Josh Allen has not been able to do against the Patriots. And you bring in some of those players and personnel over. So I'm thinking it is very smallly feasible that we could win both games. It's a flip of the coin, but most likely it's a split.
I'm gonna let you live with that. I'm gonna let you get by with that, because I don't want to box you up in the corner and have everybody throw stuff in. I ain't gonna do it to you.
It depends how we come out and play that day. If we wrapping Josh Allen up and we secure that nose tackle position to negate Singletary, because I don't know who's behind Singletary now, because Gore's not there. I don't think so. We'll be okay, but you got to keep that man in that pocket and make him throw. You can't let him get out and extend plays, especially with Stephon Diggs. And you're talking about oh my gosh, John Brown too, and Beasley. He's a great possession receiver. Once you let him,
they all trash.
I'm actually expecting in the AFC East the biggest individual leap from last year. I'm expecting from Devin Singletary, so that's another factor that I have in that. Because, I mean, that guy, I don't know if you guys watched him in preseason before he got hurt, but that guy was just shredding teams. And then he came back and he had to split with Gore. And then by the end of the season, Gore was weeded out and Devin Singletary was looking real nice. So I think they're going to have a run game too.
Man, forget Buffalo, man. I don't want to talk about Buffalo no more.
I'm not even writing off Josh Norman because he's back with McDermott. So I'm not writing off Norman until I see it's not working out with McDermott. But McDermott got some of the best years of Norman out of him. So,
he's my backstage. All right. So what about Denver? Is the Denver Broncos a better team than the Miami Dolphins?
No. No.
Mm.
Who they get? They just got a running back, right, or something like that. Who they get at running back?
Melvin Gordon.
We're gonna start some drama today, man.
Man, listen. What Drew Lock? But they have Portland Sutton. They look good, but I believe with our pass rush and a young guy like that, make them get happy feet and stuff like that. And they have Simmons, but did they lose Chris Harris Jr.?
I think so. Yeah.
They lost Chris Harris Jr. So now, you tell Fitz to go out there and kind of just air it out on these guys. But our wide receiving core, I think we can edge out Denver. It's gonna the conditions in Denver are very hard to play in and tough. Mile High being what it is.
Yeah, if that's a late season game, that's not fun.
But like I'm doing this with the expectations that we fill the nose tackle position and that we can negate some people's run. Philip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon are going to be awesome.
Disgusting.
But like I say, I like what we're doing in our front seven.
So answer this. No elaboration. Just yes or no. Do we win that game?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Reason? I'm putting people on the spot. Woo.
I like their offense better than their offense, but I like our defense better than their defense. So
give me one.
I'll say, you know what? Oh man, I don't. You know what? I don't think we'll win that game.
All right, so we're gonna do something in a second, but I want to get this one more out of the way real quick. Jacksonville Jaguars, are we a better team right now?
Yes, 110%.
I got to double check, Finsanity. I need an answer. We're going on record today.
Yes.
All right, so we got. Let's act like this is our football schedule and it's in this order, right? We got our first 4 games that just went down.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is our record in the first quarter of the season? 4 games.
Well, he has us at 2-2, and I have us at I think.
No, I have us at I have us at 1-3 right now.
Yes.
So you have us losing to the Cardinals, Broncos,
in Buffalo. And in
yeah,
Buffalo.
I think we're going to lose in Buffalo.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's just different. Well, listen, I will say this: if it's nice, if we get Buffalo early when it's not definitely cold, that's an advantage for us.
Yeah,
and we're more likely to be like win then.
So
same with Denver.
Hold on,
I agree with Denver.
I gotta make sure I got this. So your record is what, Finsanity?
3-1.
3-1.
I honestly believe that defense, because for what it's worth, there's been so many times we've been up in the fourth. Like, let's not negate where we have been competitive in fourth quarters and our defense just melts. We'll use that word, and teams like beat us on like last drives and stuff like that. So yeah. Drew Lock came along, but I still think with our defense, we'll be okay.
So 3-1 for Finsanity and 1-3 for Reason. And TD, y'all already know I'm 4-0, baby. 4-0. Matter of fact, 5-0 in 4 games. Let's go, baby. Let's go. All right. So now they got the Bills coming up again early in the schedule. Is that a W or a loss?
I'm taking that as a win. They played them once. They got the film on them, what they're doing, and they're at home. And that would be early in the season. So I'm looking for the Heat to tire out the Bills. So I'm taking that as a win.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What about you, Finsanity?
Win.
W. Okay. So that's the split. All right. What about New England? First time seeing them in the year.
Go ahead, Finsanity.
I don't know what they look like.
This is in
right
Miami.
Now, what they look like right now?
Hey, that's what. Yep.
That's a dub.
Yeah. So we getting a W in Miami without Brady. I like that one. I really like that one, actually. In Miami without Brady. I love that. All right. So Jets come to our house now. And by the way, the Denver game is on the road, and the Bills game. Arizona's on the road. Jacksonville's on the road. Wow. Yeah. So talk to me, guys. The Jets.
Well, I think that Jacksonville game will feel like a home game, to be honest.
In Miami.
What they did. No. Oh, you're talking about the Jets? I was saying the Jacksonville game will probably feel like a home game. I feel like our fan base will travel to Jacksonville. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Jets in Miami.
I would never say we losing to the Jets.
Yeah, no, I got Miami on that one.
That would never come out.
If Darnold thought he was seeing ghosts last year, enjoy our defense this year, bud.
He gonna have them 6 cents.
But he gonna be waking up. He go, Byron, when you wake up from his turn.
All right, so now we got the Chiefs in Miami.
Mm-hmm. Mahomes gonna be slinging in that warm weather, brother.
Crowd going crazy because we're 7-0. Oh, I just gave y'all my number early. Crowd going crazy. Chiefs come to Miami. Both undefeated teams, and one team must lose.
I'll laugh if you're actually right. Imagine if he's actually right and we come back to this. That'd be funny.
No, I need an answer. Do we win or lose?
That's an L for me, brother.
L, what about you, Finsanity?
Yes, L.
All
One
right,
of the
so
deadliest moves right now is Patrick Mahomes spin out and throw down the field. Yeah.
wow. So we got our second quarter completed, right? And we got the Bills, Patriots, Jets, and Chiefs. What was your record in those 4 games? Both of y'all say we will win.
Mine was 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1.
Both of y'all were 3-1.
Yeah, so the team to me is right now 4-4.
So Reason got us 500 after half the season, and Finsanity has 6-2.
Somewhere around there.
And TD ain't no baby. Them Chiefs, boy. We gonna give it to them. We got and that's when the world gonna be like, whoa, these Miami Dolphins. That's what's gonna happen. Y'all gonna see. All right, next 4. Chargers at home.
I think if it's Tyrod Taylor or a guy like Justin Herbert, our secondary is going to eat. So I actually have that as a win. Even though I do agree they have more pieces, I think that quarterback thing is going to be their downfall this year for sure if they don't get it figured out. Even with a rookie, I don't see them making the playoffs because of those growing pains.
Insanity?
Oh, man. Why do you keep doing this? Oh, they're going to hate me. Jesus. Oh,
wow.
Man. It's gonna be a lot closer than what we predict. Austin Eckler has always given us the business. Keenan Allen and Derwin James is back. Like, let's not negate that Derwin James is back and Bosa has been giving us fits. So, like I said, it depends if that offensive line is not ready. It's gonna be bad. But
win or loss?
It's a loss.
They got Melvin Ingram on the other side of Joey Bosa too.
Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, Jared Goff going to throw 60 times and they're going to lose.
Yeah. Don't negate.
Who's gonna lose?
The Rams, because Goff's going to throw 60 times and they're going to lose.
So both of y'all have a W, right?
I think that team's an absolute disaster, and I think that team will be picking in the top 10 this year.
All right, how about this? The Seattle Seahawks in Miami.
Got to go with Russell on that.
Metcalf, Lockett, and they just added someone, didn't they?
Yeah, they added Greg Olsen, right?
Yeah.
Rams game is home for those who are asking. So y'all got Seattle.
Yes.
Just
a better quarterback situation.
Cincinnati Bengals at home. Joe Burrow, what it do?
Win.
Yeah, give me the Dolphins all day on that one.
A lot will be said that game.
Insanity?
A lot will be said that game. Like, to me, that Cincinnati game, a lot of those players are going to remember that second half debacle that we had. We're not going to think about last year's like shootout. We're going to think about how we had, oh, Jesus Christ. That's bringing back flash.
And we lost that game, didn't we?
No, we beat Cincinnati.
Wait, which game against one of
the
these
one
losing
when the
teams?
turnover, the second half when we played in Cincinnati, not last year, the year before that, when we went up into Cincinnati, we were throwing all over them. We were doing everything that our hearts desired to Cincinnati, and they came out in the second half and just,
Wasn't it like an overtime game or a long game where they were scoring a lot in the fourth quarter? It was a game we had this season to another sorry team.
Yeah, that was Cincinnati when they came back and forced it to overtime, but we won.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, I want to make sure I got that together. All right, so y'all got us beating Cincinnati, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So in that stretch, the Chargers, the Rams, Seattle, and the Bengals, what was your record in those 4 games?
3-1 for me.
2-2.
2-2, 3-1. What does that put you at? Reason that puts you at 7 and
I think
7-5.
Yeah, exactly.
And Finsanity, that puts you at 8 and 6.
No.
Wait,
6 and Oh, 6-6.
You were 6-2, so it puts you at 8
6-2?
and 4. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're 8 and
Okay.
4 now.
I'm 8-4.
See, we're starting to level out Finsanity. You know, 7-5, 8-4. Because
Mhm.
I'll tell you right now, I only have us losing to San Fran now from now on. So I'm about to go 3-1 again.
I'm going 3-1 in that stretch, so that has me at 11-1 at this point.
So you have a sweep in the Patriots, sweep in the Jets.
Well, I
splitting
gotta
with
get
the
to
Bills.
this Patriots one right here. That's the next one. Right now, I'm 11-1 though. Okay.
Okay.
The only loss I got right now is from Seattle.
Okay.
That's the only loss.
KC too. Huh? Oh,
No.
okay.
All right. So next 4,
Mhm.
the Patriots in Foxborough.
I'm taking us based on the last 2 years.
Mm.
I mean, if Fitzpatrick can do a winning drive in New England, I mean, who's to say he can't do it again? So I'll take them again.
The Patriots.
No, I'll take the
Us.
Dolphins.
Yeah. Finsanity. Don't be running.
I'm not running? I'm really calculating like 20 different like possible scenarios in my mind, and I'm like really trying to. Oh man, it's wow. It's in New England, cold. Yeah. Our defense had time to develop. Their defense has time. Stidham's probably a little bit better. Of course, I'm taking us. I can't. I can't. It's very hard. That's gonna be a close game.
Yeah,
17-14 Miami. There we go. I'm calling it now.
And we beat MetLife Takeover, Jets.
We better.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins win that too.
Las Vegas, ladies and gentlemen. The new stadium with the Oakland Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders, excuse me.
I have a question. Has Carr lost his starting position already?
I was just thinking that. Is Mariota starting? It's over.
Mariota always gets hurt against us, so that means Carr is coming back in.
He hasn't lost it yet.
Man, I love Josh Jacobs. Yeah. Jesus. But like, I'm not afraid of their wide receiving core but I don't know what it's going to be after the draft. But like right now, I'm not afraid of their wide receiving core, to say the least, with our secondary. Josh Jacobs is going to be like their difference maker, but give me Miami.
Give me Miami. Same.
So I agree. I'm not I think all they have on the boundaries is Tyrell Williams. The only one catching the ball that worries me is Waller. They're tight end. That's the only one who worries me, because we've always had a history, and I haven't seen it yet. Hopefully we fix it, but we've always had a history of tight ends just feasting against us if they're top tier. I do think we beat them though. I don't think Carr or Mariota are. I think that's going to be a disaster again. I don't think they should have brought in Mariota, because I think it's just going to be. I think they're going to have a disaster with Carr this year. Yeah, that's what I think is going to go down. So I think they're going to take a step back. I think we can all agree they kind of overachieved last year, and it was all on Josh Jacobs' back. And then when Josh Jacobs went down, you saw what the real Raiders were. So yeah, I'll take Dolphins all day in that one.
Yeah, who's that? Who's the one wide receiver they have from Clemson? Renfro, I think.
Yeah, Hunter Renfro. Yeah,
he's a pretty decent possession receiver, but Needham or Bobby can handle him in the slot.
Yeah,
so.
agreed.
So wait, one more.
And they don't have a defense, I fear, either.
All right. Y'all give me a second, guys. Last one, San Francisco.
Where is it at? Santa Clara?
Yeah, it's an L for me, dog. That defense. We think we have a good defense. They're probably going to be the best defense next year.
So our defense can't be as good as theirs?
I don't think it is right now.
Not with their front.
Yeah, their front is look at their scheme. They get pressure without sending extra men.
Do they have better corners?
No. I mean, but again, it is the ideal zone scheme for a guy like Richard Sherman. So I mean, that's why you see him be so good in that scheme.
And they have Mostert and Breida. People forget about Breida.
Better linebacking core.
That's kind of that might be a toss up, depending. Oh yeah, they do have Kittle.
Yeah, it's the front four where they really dominate us. And they
like our
dominate
offensive line will have to have like the best communication, and that ball is going to have to be flying out fast.
Yeah, it's going to have to be under 2.5 seconds for sure.
And
but whose offense is going to stagnate more, ours or theirs?
I personally think they moved up to 13 to get like a guy like Henry Ruggs, one of the top 3 receivers. So I think their offense is going to be just fine this year. Like Finsandy said, a lot of people sleep on Matt Breida. You know, when Matt Breida is healthy, that guy tears it up. And, you know, we saw Mozart come out last year. And do they still have Tevin Coleman? I think they still have Tevin Coleman.
Yeah, they still have Tevin.
So, you know, they got a good rotation back there. So I think – and I like their offensive line. And, I mean, they went to the Super Bowl, so they're kind of – you know, they're kind of a little bit weathered by success and by failure. So,
and with their division, like if you think about us, we have ourselves having a favorable division. So we're pretty much for both of our records, we're pretty much like in the playoffs. They're going to have some like hard divisional matchups. So this is a game like last game of the season. They're going to need that momentum if they're like they're going to play. I mean, we're going to play hard, but you know. And
look at Finsanity, that might be a win they need to clinch the number 1 or number 2 seed. So
let me ask you, out of the last 4, Patriots, Jets, Raiders, 49ers, what's your record for those 4?
3-1 for me.
Yeah.
Finsanity?
3-1.
So Finsanity, that puts you at 11-5?
Does that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
Reason, that puts you at
10-6.
10-6.
Yeah.
11-5, 10-6. Okay, and that puts me at 14-2.
You look at me, the first quarter we were 1-3, but then every other quarter for me we went 3-1, 3-1, 3-1. So, which I could definitely see.
To me,
I just think. Oh, go ahead.
I did this with the mindset that run defense is going to be there. Where it hasn't been in previous years, that it's actually going to be there. We know what we have in the secondary, but you're also your secondary can get hurt a lot if teams are allowed to run on you, because that play action will have people moving their feet in the wrong direction. That's the last thing you want. So this is with the mindset, everyone, that we get a running back that can run the ball, right? Josh Howard's going to be a great, addition, hopefully on third downs and wherever they want to use them, and that we have a run defense.
I personally feel like if everybody's healthy, we're going to run through some of these teams. Our defense is going to be huge this year. That's the only thing that was missing at the beginning of the season for the year we just had. Of course, there were other things missing on offense, but we cannot forget that our defense was atrocious in the first half of the season as well. Some could argue our defense was more atrocious than our offense in the first 6 games. To be honest with you,
look at that Steelers game.
Yes, and think about what Brady and Baltimore did on us. Like touchdown after touchdown. I'm still seeing those touchdowns. They just scored again. Like, come on.
Lamar was like 15 of 20, and 5 of those were touchdowns.
Yes.
Stupid.
But I think that we can go in and beat Arizona, and they take it as that's the type of game for me where their fan base is competitive. They're competitive this year, but their fan base is like, we should have beat the Miami Dolphins, but they didn't. That's how they feel, at least. Same with us. That's usually one of those games where we're like, we should have beat the Cardinals, but we didn't. So I think we get that done on defense. I think we beat Buffalo to let people know that, no, this division is actually a race. That's the game Flores gets the troops up for. I think that we beat Denver on the road and start out having a nice season. And people are saying, don't they do this often? They've had plenty of years where they 4-0 or 3-0 and then crumble. And I think that we go to Jacksonville, that semi-home game, and destroy them in that game as well. And I literally think we can have a fast start, and this ain't unrealistic. All 4 of those teams are beatable. It's just some of them are better than others. But if we're gonna be better, I'm putting it on the way that we ended the year when we beat the Eagles. Come on, I mean the way that we ended the season, we can roll off those first 4 games. What was that you said?
Question. So with the whole COVID-19, does this mean that Miami won't be going to London? Because we haven't even thought about one of our home games is actually going to be in London. So how do they work that out? Like
if that's going to still be a concern, then they're just going to cancel it and have it. They're not going to cancel it. They're just going to have it in Miami if it's a home game. See, it's an easy infrastructural change for us. But if we have it in London, I would sit. And this is several months down the road. Hopefully they've got a grip on this thing and everybody's back to living life the way that they've always lived it, so we'll see. But then we have Buffalo twice, man. And a part of me wants to split that game. But at the end of the day, if we're going to be the best team in the AFC East, that's where your statements are. It's not even in beating the Patriots twice, even though it should be. It's going to be beating Buffalo twice, showing that you're the staple in this league. I'll never say I'll lose to the Jets and Adam Gates. Just not going to happen. And we play the Patriots again as well. I just think when we come down to the Chiefs, that's that can compare, because I think that the way that Greer and Flores is looking at this is we got to build a defense that's going to stop Mahomes.
Exactly. That's
what
we have
to do.
Secondary heavy.
Yes, that's all I keep visioning is what kind of defense are we building? One that's going to stop Mahomes, because if it stops Mahomes, then you better know it can stop Jackson. You better know it can stop Lamar. You better know it certainly should be able to stop Allen. So when you look at the quarterbacks in the AFC, if we can build a defense to stop Mahomes, it's going to take care of the rest.
Yeah, what you want to, it looks like the way the AFC is going right now, you want to build your defense that can contain the run and lock down the pass.
Bingo. Exactly. The prototypical of what we're building is prototypical of stopping Mahomes. Mm-hmm. I mean, just putting dogs out there to put a body in his face. Like the guys we have, even if they don't get to him, they will get him out of his comfort zone. Right. They will cause him to move. Mm-hmm. And we got guys that love to move with him. So that's what we're trying to do on defense. Build a defense that's going to give the Chiefs offense terrible fits and discomfort. I'll just put it like that. All right. Yeah. And I think that we make a statement and we can win that game, and we show people this is what we were trying to build. Chargers win, Rams win, Seattle. I say that we get our first loss because I just think that the way they're gearing back up on defense, and I think they're gonna end up making a deal with Clowney as well. That's just my thoughts. Mm-hmm. I think he'll end up in Seattle. Unless that changes, but I think that their defense is better than people think right now. And their offense is going to do what it does with a quarterback like Russell Wilson. But I think their defense is the side that's improving and people aren't noticing. And again, time will tell, but I think that that's a team that has – see, you're going to have to be right now, since we don't have the offense that we want, you're going to have to be a well-rounded team to beat us. You're going to have both packages. The Chiefs, I'm not worried about their defense as much as their offense may have to worry about our defense. Bengals run through Patriots again, Jets again, like domination, guys. I don't see it being far-fetched. The Raiders, domination. San Francisco, once again, a complete team. They have the defense. And if we're trying to shut down their offense, and they're trying to shut down our offense, I just think that they're going to be more effective than we are. Shutting it down right now because they got a better defense. So that's how I came up 14-2. Again, we could lose very well. I could see us losing 3 of those games I mentioned. So at the end of the day, I'm saying 14-2. Worst case scenario, 11-5.
Well, TD, let's make this a little bit more realistic for the fans, because the last game will be a divisional game. It is for every team. It's always a divisional game. So depending on what divisional opponent we're playing and where we're playing at, it could be a possible AFC East championship game.
Yeah.
Which is going to be even more excitement and even more reason to go out there to kick somebody's,
Or
patootie.
don't kill me, guys. It could have wild card implications.
Yep.
I'm not gonna kill you for it. I mean, any a playoff berth, however we see it, is success.
Yeah.
A playoff berth is like the immediate success right now for us. That would be awesome.
My problem is I could see us going 10-6 or 11-5, but I could see the Bills turn around and going 12-4 or like 13-3 and like just sneaking out, and we're like that one loss in Buffalo or whatever. There's going to be – listen, let's be honest with ourselves. There's going to be one game on the schedule none of us expect to lose. We're going to lose. That happens every year with almost every team. That's just how the cookie crumbles. So –
but I agree with that reason. It's almost one of those things you can go ahead and book. But, I mean, are we going to hop over that hump and make sure we leave no prisoners?
Better hope so. Better get that offensive line if you're going to do that.
The wild card matchups are going to be fun.
They're expanding it this year, right?
Yeah, so 2021, yes, it'll be.
Yeah, and then
18
next year the schedule goes to 17 as well, right? Yeah,
right.
Okay.
So,
8 teams are in this thing, man.
I love it.
Like say we negate, Kansas City as the 1 seed, right? So now you have Ravens, possibly Bills, and I don't know who's winning the South. It's a chalk up. They may think the Colts, but those are your potential matchups. First wild card weekend. So
I think you're right, Vincent. I think the Colts win the South.
Yeah, I think
because of how competent that O-line is and plopping a guy like Phillip Rivers, and they got weapons, man. People sleep. They got weapons, so yeah, I think they're going to win that South. But again, we talked about Rivers earlier, another guy where he just blows it every time he get the pressure comes on. So I wouldn't be worried about them in the end.
So reason out of all of those, Ravens, Colts, and we're saying Bills, ironically, right now, who do we want to see in the wild card?
The Bills, because you'd probably be the most familiar with them, already playing them twice this year. And it goes back to what you're saying too, Finsanity. We're worried about how about what Josh Allen can do with his athleticism. The Ravens beat us last year, and Lamar Jackson didn't have to display his athleticism. So I don't want to touch that, because our luck is we'd be the first team that he goes off on against in the playoffs. I don't even want to go near that. But I think the Bills would be a better matchup, because just for scouting alone, you'd have way more tape on them. So you would have already seen a lot of the things they could already throw at you. So to me, that would be the better matchup, just because of familiarity.
And the fact that Fitz has played up there in the cold.
Yeah.
So it won't. I mean, we don't know what his arm is going to be. We'll see by that time. But it'll be great. It'll be fun if we do get like a wild card spot.
Yeah. And Sharif, I'm trying to bring you in. It's just that we can hear the playback very loud, so you would have to actually mute the playback.
At the same token, I could see us getting a wild card spot and being the team that starts upsetting people that no one expects.
Man, the thing about it is, if our run game, like it's gonna have to be there. That's how you win these playoff games. That run game, having ball control, not allowing the other team's offense on that field as much, and giving your defense, that viable rest that that they need. You saw that with Tennessee, but then Derrick Henry kind of just ran out a little bit of gas. I mean, it happens when you run the ball for 303 times.
Hey, I'll never take that away from you. You called that 110% last year, and I actually agreed with you when you called it. When you said that Derrick Henry is a back half of the season runner, and I agreed 110% because I've had him in fantasy, so I've seen it firsthand. And boy, he lived up to what you called. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that's going to be very interesting. Like, does he hold out part of the season? Because that'll put Tennessee in a position, if ever.
Honestly, I would. You'd have to, Cincinnati, because of the tread that's going to start coming on your tires, man. It's Le'Veon Bell all over again. It feels like the Tennessee Titans would franchise tag him and run him 300 times, 350 times, and do that. I agree. I know we all talk about how like these guys are getting too much money. My thing with running backs is they have such a short amount of time to cash in. And like when I saw what Pittsburgh did with Le'Veon Bell, that kind of soured me on how a lot of these franchises treat their running backs, man, because you franchise tag him only to rush him for the most times he's ever rushed in one season. And I think that's very unfair, man, because that's basically saying we're going to use your body up, and if you make it through, then let's talk money. Like, man, that is, and I see that happening with Derrick Henry. 100.
But some are nastier with it. Even if you make it through unscathed, now they feel like they've gotten too many miles on you.
Yeah.
So
but, I mean, listen. If you can run that wild card into a win, you got a healthy wide receiving core going into the divisional round, which is great because that's when you really get like the top of the top. And those defenses, what is that? You get the top of the top, secondaries that are going to be out there, and you want, Preston and Devontae and Isaiah Ford. Right now, I'm giving it to Isaiah Ford. I don't know who's going to be our slot guy. It's up for competition, but they'll be healthy. They won't have as many hits and wear and tear on them, and they gotta get an extra week to rest a little bit, other than going out there and kind of like blocking on the outside. So, and maybe a couple of red zone, options or third down options. So, it's doable. It's doable for us to get to the divisional round. I don't know.
Super Bowl, baby. Let's go. Super Bowl. Sharif, what's up with you, man?
Hey, sir.
Sharif, can you hear me?
Hey, can you hear me clear now?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Yes, I can. You hear?
Yeah, I think your video is chopping up.
I'm doing okay, man. I'm from the Bahamas. Just want to say. Well, I'm from the Bahamas. I'm a big time Dolphins fan. It's an honor to be here with you. I really respect the work you do, the research all of you do. I respect Reason, the quarterback. He has all of the breaking down the board work and the office classroom work of football. I love that. I love Finsanity's overall perspective of the team, and I think she does a fantastic job. And of course, TD, you and your entire family does an amazing job to keep us entertained in this time, of course, of this distance time. And yeah, I have something I want to touch on because I was listening to the live stream and the defensive tackle position. I think I watched week 16, and I noticed that Flores didn't play Zach Seiler in week 17, but I watched that game, and also I listened to a few comments in an article about Zach Seiler. I think that defensive tackle position is probably filled, and when I look through the first 3 rounds, I don't see the Dolphins getting 14 rookies, but I also don't see them addressing a defensive tackle position because when you Christian Wilkins on third downs, just on third downs alone, I see our defensive tackle position being. So what I'm basically saying, I guess, is we can use 4 of those picks to move them into the next year, or we can use 4 of those picks possibly to get Burrow.
Well, but one of and thank you, by the way, for coming on and spending some time with us, Sharif. And I hope everything's going well for you all in the Bahamas, man. I appreciate all the words that you've said to me and the other panelists. We just want to say we do appreciate you, man. In regards to my thoughts on in regards to the nose tackle position, our biggest concern. And by the way, guys, if we're like pausing, it's because we have a delay, but I want to try to get through the delay because we can still communicate. Because I'm hearing them like 5 seconds after, but it's all right. We're gonna work through it. But the issue isn't. I think we know kind of that we're straight on third downs with the Christian Wilkins, and even Godchild at times. And you're right, they did bid Zeiler, and I didn't know if that was because he got put automatically in the bad graces because of his play in the game, which I'll probably go back and double check and look into a little more because you're onto something there. But I think our biggest concern is more so first down. having a true nose tackle to stop the run, be that anchor in the middle that's not going to allow the lanes that the other offense needs to have a successful run game. So I think that that's the biggest piece that has to be addressed, because we can't allow these teams to have 3rd and 2 situations. Then it doesn't matter about the perfect fit solved on 3rd down, because they could either still run or they could just throw a quick pass anyway. So we got to do better on 1st and situational 2nd downs that are run heavy opportunities for the offensive team. We got to do better putting them in deeper down and distances and 3rd down. So again, I think even with the package with Jerome Baker, we're going to be better on the 3rd down package with the guys that we have now. It's early downs. That's what has to be addressed at the nose tackle position, and that can cause a negative ripple effect on 3rd down if we don't fix our 1st down situation on defense. So that's why and they may not go after a tackle.
I totally agree.
But that's why we want them to. That's why we want them to, because we got to fix that, man. We can't keep walking past that, because then we're not seeing the full potential of our defense.
Well, I have been doing like a ton of research, and I am a dedicated Dolphins fans, in and out of the team roster, following, in camp and everything. But having is I think with Zach Seiler, I think his quick, I think, is perfect for 3rd downs. What I want to ask you three is, do you see a Tim Bowens prototype from rounds 4 to 7 in the upcoming? I haven't done my defensive tackles rookie checkups yet. I've only just been studying like up to Josh Jones and I think Jackson offensive tackles. I've really been in them because I don't think get worse. I don't think we're going to get Wills or another great tackle there, Becton. But I've been studying the other 4 tackles. But when I look at the defensive tackles, do you say Tim Bowen's prototype from round 4 to 7?
I do. I see Leaky Fatu from Utah, 6'5", 330. No problem stuffing the run. Another guy who I really like, he's a little bit smaller. I don't see Tim Bowens, but it's Finsanity's boy, Raekwon Davis from Alabama. Another guy who I think you could slide in the middle there. And like I keep going over this, it's going to be really interesting when we get to that 70th pick, because you don't pick till the 141st pick after 70. So you're either going to have to move up from 141, or that 70th pick is going to hold a lot of weight in what they do, because there's going to be interior linemen and there's going to be interior defensive tackles that will not be there by 141. And to me, once you get past Derek Brown, Javon Kinlaw, Ross Blakelock, Marlon Davidson, even Neville Gallimore and Jordan Elliott, Leaky Fatu and Raekwon Davis are the only other 2 I would touch. I don't really – this defensive tackle class is fairly weak.
I have nothing to add to that. I was going to go with Raekwon.
I understand.
And I think you can get, and Pinsanity, I think you can get Raekwon at 70. I don't think you'll get him at 141.
No, definitely not. Yeah, there you go.
And another thing I wanted to talk about with that the third down situation. I'm not sure that Zeiler will actually even make the roster this year. And I could be wrong. And even on our depth chart, we have him listed as a defensive end. We don't even have him listed as a nose tackle. So he's one of those guys that they're spreading around, seeing if he could find a home. But I'm not sure if he'd actually make it. I mean, you got to really look at the roster and say to yourself, what all do we actually like? Who all is actually on it right now? Do you know we have over 90 guys right now signed?
We actually have 78.
78?
We have 78. We have 78, and the offseason roster limit is 90, and we have 14 draft picks. And Brian Flores makes his bread and butter with UDFAs. So something's got to give here.
Is that including the practice squad designation?
Everything. I don't think practice squad designations have happened yet.
So 78 is the official number you have right now.
Yep, and 90 is the max.
So now, how many draft picks you think we're gonna have? I mean, I know how many we have, but I still
and
think
TD, you got to take in at one point last year. What was it? 42% of our roster was UDFA's.
Yeah.
So you got to take it, and that's where Brian Flores makes his bread and butter too. Is on the wire, man. So there's going to be UDFA signed, and there's going to be draft picks. That's why something's got to give here. It doesn't make sense.
I'm thinking we draft 9 players. What's your thoughts?
And to add along with what Reason was saying, I listened to our friend, and he went to the exact word of 14 draft picks. It's gonna take 16, and I think after we would have kept our tenders and signed everyone we did, we would only have 24 million. And if we sign our draft picks after that, we would end up with 7 million entering to this week. Won't see us keeping 14 rookies at all. I think the undrafted is a very good option.
Well, here's what it has me thinking right now. I know Flores makes his bread and butter from the UDAs, but here's the issue, Reason. You said we have 78 right now, right?
Yeah.
Say we draft 9 players. We don't draft 14, we draft 9. That's 87. So we only have room for 3 UDAs.
Well,
so that's why
I think there's going to be guys going. Like I think Charles Harris is going to be gone.
Charles Harris. Who else? Yeah, Charles Harris. I'm still thinking that.
Do you think Taco stays?
What's that?
Do you think Taco stays?
I mean, he makes it to camp, I believe.
Because I just want you to know the cap number that I'm seeing on Twitter that we have is 25.3 million. Because apparently everyone was off with that $40 and $37 million. There was an article that came out from the Miami Herald yesterday about it. And yeah, apparently we only have like $25 million left right now.
Well, that was because everybody was waiting on
we only have 4 million.
It was whose deal was it that didn't post on the books yet? I believe Ogba or somebody. We were waiting on their salary to hit our cap because the Dolphins hadn't registered the structure of it yet with the league. But obviously, if those numbers are changing now, that means they've posted his salary and what he's going to make in the first year and giving us more accurate numbers. And I need to go take a look at that because I'm be honest, I don't like that right now because that means our spending is done. Mm-hmm. If that's the case. And everything is now dedicated to.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I really appreciate you guys talking about the defensive tackles and the other streams. But when I get the cap and when I look at what our needs is, if we were to move for simply because we can't sign all of those picks, then what is our protection prospects when we won't have many firsts? And now I'm saying to myself, well, who's the defensive tackle who's going to be the plugger in the middle? So I'm looking at my roster and I'm saying, well, Zach Seiler, he came on. That's what led me to even thinking that. But I understand he may not even make the roster.
Yeah. So this is the Barry Jackson article from yesterday. After additional contract structuring and adjustments, the Dolphins cap space has dropped to $24.6 million, according to figures obtained by the NFL Players Union and confirmed by the Miami Herald. And from what I understand, like Sharif said, it's going to be 16 to 18 million that we're going to have to dedicate to our draft class. So
you said 16 to 18
million is the number I keep hearing. Yeah,
I don't understand where they get that from. They keep getting that. I mean, do you know what contract you're going to have to give the first round pick or the number 5 pick?
I know top 5. It's your I only know the guaranteed money. I know the guaranteed money is between 30 to 35 million. As a top 5 pick. That's all I know.
And that's on a 4-year.
4-year with a 5th-year player option, yeah. All first-round picks get the 5th-year player option.
Yeah, when they say 16 million on the players, I really want to see that structure. I know they usually set it up to gradually increase.
I think those people are calculating the numbers with if we take all 14. I don't think they're implying trades in that scenario. They're saying if we take all 14 picks, that's how much money we're going to have to dedicate. So that could come down if we make trades. Like I've said for months, we're not making 14 draft picks.
I'm thinking it goes higher. I mean, I'm thinking it may be a little higher than that, actually, man. Because the bulk of where we're picking should be early on, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we have 6 picks up until 70. 6 of our 14.
Yeah, so those are your players that get paid a little more. Let me pull this up because I want to transition this conversation into what was just brought up because it's a good subject to talk about. Y'all give me a second. Let me pull it up real quick. Let me close this one and pull this one up. All right, so here we go. Let me share the screen with y'all. All right, so this is I don't know if y'all can see it well. Is it fizzy or
yeah, I can make it out.
It's basically our depth chart, okay? It's loaded,
Okay.
man. It just seems like we got players forever. This is our depth chart, okay? And some of the real conversations that do have to, because we already know if we're drafting them, they're on the roster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So when you really think about it, you start to think to yourself, okay, we have 9 players that's going to be on this roster via draft, okay? And then did the league go up to 55, did we say? For the active roster when the season starts?
Was that
does that take effect this year?
I think it went from 45 to 53.
No, it's 53.
I
but
think
I
it
think
went
the
from
league...
45 to 53.
No, it's been 53 for a while.
Yeah.
But I believe it's going up to 55 if I'm not mistaken. Well, I guess the point that I'm trying to get across is out of what we see on this screen right now, I believe they're going with 45 players. Would you about 45 of these players? And when you start looking at who you know is going to be on the roster, it's like a whole bunch of guys that you know will be on the roster, but then you start to realize there's a whole bunch of guys that we don't know if they're going to be on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if they'll be on the roster at all. And I don't know if this is fully updated because we still have Kilgore listed here. We still got Walt Aikens, Akeem Talib, even though they're in red.
I think those are the ones that are no longer.
But Bohm is in red. Did we wait? Is Bohm gone?
Were we supposed to re-sign them?
Hold on, let me see if I can get
I can't.
Look at they got Dieter.
I really can't tell if some of those restricted or.
He's a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't tell if some of those players were restricted or unrestricted. Keep in mind, guys, we got guys off of the street from week 1 straight to like week 16. So restricted and unrestricted is something I'm gonna have to learn with all of those players we picked up.
And another player we keep sleeping on when it comes to the defensive line is Jonathan Ledbetter. Look how good he was doing before he got hurt too, right?
Well, I actually think that he's gonna make the roster.
I'm 100%. Yeah, he had a monster game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the guy who's actually in front of Zyler.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see, especially when you go to the defense, like Gerald Wills, like Jamal Davis, Nito, whoever that is, like you're gone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of these guys are real talented. Nito, I mean, this is gonna be an interesting camp. Let's run through this real quick. Is Shaq Lawson gonna make this roster?
Yeah,
obviously, right? Ogba,
yes,
obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Davis,
yes.
You think so?
I don't think so.
No.
Nito,
no.
John Jenkins.
He's in these. I think they're.
I know.
Lock, right?
I just noticed.
Cap
okay.
casualty.
Yep. Got y'all. Yes.
Yes.
Gerald Willis.
Yes.
No.
I don't know because that's one of the issues that we're trying to figure out. Christian Wilkins. Yes.
Yeah.
Taco Charlton. I say yes.
Yes.
I say yeah.
I could see either or.
Either or what?
I could see yes or no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Avery Moss.
They use him a lot, so I don't know. I actually think he's going to.
I could see.
He's ahead of Ledbetter and Zeiler on the depth chart.
Yeah.
And then you have to ask yourself.
I think he's in the rotation.
Yeah. How many defensive linemen do we take into the season? How many defensive linemen do we take into the season? You have to think about that too.
6.
6?
No. I'm counting right now. How many are? 2, 4. Well, right now, by my count, I'm taking off Jamal Davis and Neto, and I, by the looks of it, just on the end, the defensive ends, we're taking in 7. I don't think we're drafting a defensive end at all.
So you feel like we're going 9 deep on the D line?
Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, for sure.
I don't think Trent Harris is going to make this team.
I think that we only go 8 deep this year. Something makes me feel like we're going 8 deep because that flex linebacker, like Van Noy, it's players like that they also constitute as the line as well in some cases.
The edge. Yeah, the edge.
So, and I think that they're gonna maintain a loaded linebacking core. How many linebackers do you think we go with?
I only see Trent Harris, Terrell Hanks, Calvin Munson, and Devin Lacey, and Charles Harris. Yeah. So by my count, if you're just asking me, we're keeping Van Noy, Roberts, Baker, Kruger-Hill, McMillan, Beagle, Van Ginkel, and Egwavin. And that's it.
Who was the last one?
Sam Egwavon. Sorry, my bad.
8 linebackers.
That's what I see, yeah.
8 linebackers.
Yeah.
And you said 9
That's what I'm looking
linemen?
at.
No, I said 1, 2. I said, linemen in total. Then yeah, linemen in total, yeah.
9.
That includes defensive tackles and your ends.
Yeah. So yeah, 9. I see.
Man, so we got 17 in the box that we'll be keeping on this roster.
Oh, yeah, somebody about to play special teams.
Yeah, no, of course. That's interesting. And what about at the cornerback position?
To go.
One, 2, 3, 4.
I think Aqib Talib is gone.
Yeah, who makes sense to me? We're not counting safety, right? Just corner.
Corners.
So I see Howard, Tankersley, Wiltz is going to stay, Byron Jones, Needham, and that's.
No, he's safety. My bad.
How many did you say?
Man, I only see 1, 2, 3, 5. I only see 5 right now.
I see 5.
They're going to keep depth for special teams for sure.
Okay, so
Lyndon Stevens, Ryan Lewis, Montre Hartage.
We're at 22 on the defense. And let's go safety real quick. We know we're going to keep they got Bobby listed as nickel on here. We know Bobby's going to be on this roster. Mm-hmm. All right, so that's that makes 23 players on defense. Mm-hmm. Then when you look at the strong safety position, Eric Rowe is going to be on this roster. That makes 24. Who else?
Fedulum's going to be on the roster.
Yep. 25.
Stephen Parker, if insanity, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't he big on special teams?
Yes.
So yeah, Parker going to stay, and Adrian Colbert.
And he made a big interception.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying Colbert?
Well, I'm saying I think all these safeties. Yeah, I think all these safeties listed right now are going to be staying.
27. That is 27 on the defense.
Oh, you don't want to make
27 players is what we're saying is going to happen on the defense. That's half the team.
defense.
But that's
is
not
team.
so if you take 27 plus the 9 draft picks, then we're looking at 36, right?
Yep.
So the magic number, because I think that they moved, let's just say it is still 53, okay? Because I don't know if it takes effect this year. So how many do we have left? Let me do the math.
17.
17 players left for offense, right? 17 on the offense. Wow. Now let's go to this. Let's go to the offense then. First of all, I'm gonna start off with quarterback. Who makes this roster that's on here now?
Fitzpatrick and Ruddock.
And Rosen's gone?
I think they're going to move off. I don't see them carrying four. Obviously, not carrying 4 guys because they're going to draft one. And I think
sign Ruddock on a futures contract.
That's why I'm saying Ruddock. Yeah. I think if you want my honest opinion, it's going to be Fitzpatrick. He goes down, Ruddock goes in, and whoever's the rookie is sitting a year. That's how it looks like they're lining it up for me.
Interesting. So I want to go with that analysis because either way, I know it's 2. Whether Ruddock's out or Rosen's out, it's going to be one of them.
And let's be honest, last preseason, Ruddock looked like I guess it was against second and third team defenses, but Ruddock looked good, man. So I think he's more than competent to be the number 3 guy.
Yeah, he did.
So okay, so all right, so let's go with 2 quarterbacks. That leaves us with 15 players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go running back real quick. Well, first off, let's go running back. Okay, Jordan Howard's going to make this roster.
Mm-hmm.
Kalen Balazs?
Yeah, I don't see them giving up on him.
Me either. They're going to let him get a shot behind a fixed line.
I think he makes it
Miles Gaskins, he just got hurt. So I don't think he's going.
Gaskins is not going to be.
Gaskins is not going to survive this because they already brought in a replacement. What was his name again? Just last week they brought in his replacement because Gaskins got hurt.
Procise.
That was there last year.
Wait, no, we just signed a running back. The day Gaskins went down, he got hurt practicing.
Pirine,
he got hurt on Pirine. Yes. Thank you, Pirine. We just signed Pirine, the running back. So I don't know if he's gonna make the roster or not, but that was the guy. It was noted that they replaced Gaskins. They replaced him with Pirine because did y'all know that Gaskins got hurt?
No, I didn't know.
No.
Yeah, he just got hurt recently in workouts or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So when they signed the running back the same day that they listed him as getting hurt, I personally felt like they're bringing in another guy to replace him because it happened like the very same or next day where they replaced his position. So Pirine is the guy that they brought in right after Gaskins got hurt. Man, I'm shocked. That's my fault. I never even reported that. But what about Patrick Laird?
No, because I think they're drafting someone.
Yeah.
Lance Turner?
No.
No.
So y'all are saying Howard, Balazs, and you don't think any of these 3 guys, Pirine, Laird, or Lance Turner is going to make the roster?
No, I agree with insanity.
They're gonna buddy.
So we get our third back.
I think Laird may make teams because he's in all areas.
But I mean, some of these guys are going to be on practice squad. Like I don't want people to get like in a whole.
No. Yeah, of course. I'm just talking about that final roster going into war.
No. Unless we get out Balazs, no, or Jordan Howard gets re-injured.
Because
those are only 2 options.
Do y'all think Chandler Cox remains as fullback?
I don't know because they have Wilkins.
Yes, and I think we use him more.
Well, we
I think that's why they got. I think they got I think they got a Landon Roberts to use
Uh-huh.
whenever they need to.
Yeah, it's good
That or
observation.
Wilkins. Yeah, I don't.
Good observation because Roberts also has played some fullback, just so y'all know.
Mhm.
So Chandler Cox out of there, y'all feel?
I think so, yeah.
What does this contract dictate? We got him last year, right?
That's a good question. What's his contract dictate? Because
Yeah, he was a late round.
let me see. Yeah, I think that
Part of the reason I think Chad O'Shea really couldn't progress along is because he didn't find ways, I think, to get like Chandler Cox involved. And it's to me, Chad O'Shea also didn't use Rosen, and I'm not saying that Rosen would have gave us 5 wins, but Chad O'Shea wasn't able to bring Rosen along the way I think he could have been. So that's why I think Chad O'Shea, he's probably the reason why Chandler Cox isn't used.
I mean, that was one of the things I heard when Chad O'Shea was showing the doors. One of the reasons was, and this is what I heard. One of the many reasons. Let me preface it with this. So there's many reasons. One of them I heard was basically when he got that job, he pitched Rosen big time to management, and that this was the guy he could develop and he could make our future. And they didn't like what they saw from Chad O'Shea in terms of growing and developing him. They felt that he kind of just gave him the playbook, gave him the plays, and said, okay, go figure it out. And it was Fitzpatrick that was doing more of the coaching up of Josh Rosen than Chad O'Shea. So from what I've heard, Josh Rosen is actually one of the reasons why O'Shea lost his job.
Wow. So
one. Let me
I know some of the other reasons.
Right.
Yeah. But so guys, I wanted to, because Chandler Cox, here's the deal. His contract isn't going to be an issue at all, even though he was a rookie that has a 4-year deal. He only had $95,000 guaranteed. I mean, I never even paid attention to his contract. But that's not, his contract isn't a big deal for this team at all. So he can be expendable. I'm going to have him out right now. So are we left with 13 players of that we can have on this roster right now? We were at 15 and we're only adding Howard and Balaj, right?
Yeah, we're over. I just got to the slot receivers and I already hit 13.
So let's keep going. Let's go tight end now, because we're at 13 right now. Let's go tight end. Mike Gesicki makes the roster. We're down to 12. Smith.
Yeah.
So we're down to 11. Chandler Cox is also listed as a tight end. We're going to scratch that. Is Michael Roberts or Chris Mayarik going to make this roster?
Michael Roberts will.
What's that?
Michael Roberts.
Now we're saying these are the people that are going to be like on our depth chart.
Yeah, they just
on our depth chart.
Like
They're dressed. They're dressed on game day.
Oh, okay.
So are we down to 11 now with the tight ends?
But I also saw.
Oh, go ahead, Sheree.
Yeah, I think Roberts is coming into training camp. No, I was saying, I think Roberts, I saw the Dolphins bring a lot of people in for training camp for competition, and they didn't make the roster. I think Michael Roberts is one of those signings where he can't, if he can't beat out Smythe or Gesicki, thank you for coming.
Yeah, but we got to go into the season with more than 2 tight ends.
And he's an absolutely fantastic blocker.
So that's why
I think he's going to stick around. It's because of his block.
Yeah. And we might get someone in a later round as a draft pick as well.
And Chris, if you guys remember Chris Myarick, he shined on in week 3 and 4 of the preseason. I don't know why he actually went to the practice squad. I thought he beat out Cleveland. I thought he beat out the Cleveland tight end. I forgot his first.
But what happens
I think he beat out Cleveland to me.
My bad. We keep cutting each other off. What happens is what he shows on the practice field. He got to make those strides on the practice field to where he's leaps and bounds jumping some of these guys. Until that happens, he's not going to move up on the depth chart. But now it looks like we're down to 11.
Right.
We're down to 11, and I'm not even gonna go O-line. I want to go to the wide receivers. Devontae Parker makes this roster.
Nah.
Down to 10. Preston Williams.
Yeah.
Down to 9. Alan Hearns.
Yeah.
Down to 8. Albert Wilson, as of right now.
That's $1 million question, though.
Down to 7, if that happens. Isaiah Ford.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Down to 6. Well, he's not eligible for the practice squad anymore.
Yes.
Ford?
Yeah, I don't think he's eligible anymore for the practice squad.
But no, some of these guys might get traded. I mean,
he was on the practice squad for like 3 years, guys.
Well, they were creative. They were creative in his eligibility though, because they took him off the practice squad late in the years, which basically they've been working his amount of games allowed on the practice squad the right way. They've maximized it, but now it's make or break. If I believe. Now, what about Jakeem Grant?
Right.
Makes this roster. We're down to 5.
Yeah.
Are we down to 5? And
yes.
We
offensive line.
Offensive line with no depth. We know that. So right now, right now on this O-line, Flowers is going to be here. We're down to 4. Karras is going to be here. We're down to 3. Who else is going to be here?
Dieter and Jesse Davis, 100%.
So we're down to 1. We know we're going to get some guys in the draft, but
you're going to need Davenport for left tackle depth, even if you draft someone, right?
We're done. We're done right there. Everybody else on this roster is basically they're the ones on the chopping block, and they have to come in and take something from some of these guys. So guys like Mac Hollins, Gary Jennings, Andy Jones, Louis Ricardo, Terry Wright, Adam Pankey, Deion Calhoun is on the outside looking in. Keaton Sutherland outside looking in. Danny Isadora outside looking in.
And the problem is, TD, it's the linebacker room and that defensive end room are absolutely packed.
That's why I personally feel
Jerome Baker trade.
It's going to happen. Listen, it's going to happen at the linebacker and the defensive end position. Y'all already know we brought in so many defensive ends, and then when you combine them with the linebackers, it's going to be on the outside in the 3-4 scheme. You're going to have, when camp comes, we're going to be making decisions. Do we go with the DN or do we go with that linebacker? They're going to be scratching and pulling. The defensive line isn't competing with the D-line. They're competing with the D-line and linebackers that are going to be playing each other's roles. So these DNs are going to have to play coverage, and the linebackers are going to have to play some line and be versatile to make this roster. What were you saying?
I was listening to someone talk about Miami's pass rush, and I think there were a media insider, and they were talking about how Miami doesn't get any pass rush, and this is in 2019, last year. We never generated any pass rush, and it just led to the quarterback patting the ball. And so why I said that is the scheme that you are talking, which is basically down linemen, and we're able to send either Rowe, we're able to send Van Ginkel or Vanoy or Jerome or McMillan, and we're able to just bring all of them at the line one time, and you still wouldn't really know what we're doing. And that fifth person who can be like a Minka or switch knife, which would leave everyone like single high, and of course Byron Jones and Xavier Howard would be on an island. That switch knife could be like Simmons. If we decide to get him at 5. But I'm just saying, like, our scheme in pressure is based on 5 people coming up to the line, and you don't really know who is coming. But we failed immensely trying to do it because we just didn't have any speed at the defensive end.
Well, that definitely has changed. with the way that the free agents that we brought in, and that's what I'm most excited about. The opportunity we have with that change at that position. So this is what I love about our roster right now. If we draft 9 players, like we think we are, there's going to be, obviously we have the right competition going on in camp, where there's a lot of guys that make that we think my bad guys, got a government alert.
I was getting them yesterday, like, whoa, about
Florida.
About traveling. Like,
yeah, the Florida Surgeon General says stay home if you're 65 plus or have medical conditions. All follow social distancing. I guess. Yeah. So
I don't know about, and I just sorry to get off topic. I don't know about you guys out there, but bro, I'm looking across the street. I got a street that's parallel with me, brother. Neighbors are getting together on the street and having like circles of chats. All their kids are playing. I'm like, what are you people doing out here, man? I don't want to be that neighbor.
Oh my!
People are wilding out.
Oh my
like,
goodness!
Yeah, some people aren't taking it serious,
goodness.
but and the only thing that I don't like is this thing is going to get worse before it gets better because everyone isn't taking it serious. What's making it worse is the fact that everyone's not taking it serious.
Exactly. So, oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's tough. Man.
And you're in Philly, right? Reason?
No, I'm in Canada.
We're in Canada. Canada.
You're in Canada?
Yeah, actually.
Whoa.
I lived in Bridgetown, Barbados for about 4 months. So I used to come out your way a lot when I was younger.
Nice.
Bahamas,
nice.
Man. I gotta make a trip over there once all this stuff dies down, man.
All right. I think I will. Yeah, man. Even come for the bowl game and have a Bahamas NCAA bowl game down here. Wow. So even if you come down for something like that, but I overheard Reason talking about McNabb. That's why I thought he was from Philly.
Oh no, yeah. The Philly's my second team. If you want to say a second team because of McNabb.
Man,
okay.
This thing is getting crazy though, man. Like I said, whenever I started the show today, guys, y'all make sure y'all being responsible, not just for yourself and your family, but everybody else. This is something where everybody has to work together and practice social distancing. Some people aren't affected until they are affected. So that's what people need to realize. The numbers are growing. And I'm gonna go ahead and just do this real quick and spread a few facts that I know to be true about this, because a lot of things are being mixed reviews are going on out there. Guys, this thing is airborne. Okay, it is also airborne. It also can live on surfaces longer than anything that we've ever seen that I know of. So with that being said, just think about what that means. I mean, I just got a report there over 300 police officers have been confirmed positive because they're out there basically still doing their job. This thing, I mean,
before you go any further, before you go any further, TD, I understand if you were to say those 2 words, you would get demonetized or something on your channel. And I'm not sure of how it works, but I would suggest we can give advice, but don't say those 2 words because I don't want your channel to get the negative rating thing or however that works.
It's all good. I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm gonna have a conversation around that, but yes, but we have to make sure that we got to make sure that we're practicing the social distance because we want this thing to go away, and the only way that it's going to go away is if we all stay where we need to, where we're mandated to stay, and stop gathering with people who could potentially have it, and you're just not knowing because all they're doing is spreading it. In order to stop something like this, all we have to do, easier said than done, is stop spreading it. Okay, so you have to think about what spreads it. It's people getting together. All it takes is one person in the top crowd of 10 to get 10 sick. So we just have to stop spreading it. If we can stop spreading it, then we can go ahead and work on those who have it in an isolated fashion That way we can gain control of this. All right. So if you have the ability to
Right.
stay home and make sure that you're exercising social distance, and just being with your immediate family, do so. Do your part. Do your part.
Were you able to get a refund on everything, TD?
No, I didn't get a refund. The hotels, the way that was set up, I might be taking a loss, but the plane tickets, they just gave a flight credit.
Okay.
So I have the flight credit for about 6 months. So
I'm surprised the hotels aren't doing that for you either.
We'll see. I mean, there's some things I'm working on in regards to that with the group that I was going to be with. So we'll see how that turns out. But it's all good, man. I know those flights right now are like $17 to like go from here to Dallas, from
Really?
Florida to Dallas. Yes, the flights are dirt cheap.
Wow.
And what people have to also realize, in all technicality, to me, it's safer to fly now because the airports are literally empty.
Yeah.
When I say empty, they are literally empty. Because I actually had to go to the airport yesterday. They are literally empty. When I say, you know how when you get to the airport, the terminal is people all inside. When I say 0 people, like you can walk in, go up to the desk, and no one's there other than the person behind the desk. It's crazy, man. I mean, flights are having like 10 people on for over 100 seat flights. So if anything, this is actually the safest time to fly because all airports and stuff, they've already been through their protocol of sanitizing and wiping everything down and X, Y, and Z. So
and you'll probably get upgraded to first class, TD.
Probably, but I don't want to because everybody would be, and that wouldn't be social distancing.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, man. But yes, man. But everybody just got to do their part. There's people.
What you said just.
Oh, what were you saying?
Yeah, what you said got me thinking of this. What you said just now got me thinking of day one free agency, and I happened to take a look at a few interviews that the new Dolphins signees had with the Florida.
Yeah,
and if you look at these young men, and right, we're talking about the airport and how everyone is using social distance. We're talking about a young coach in Brian Flores who were able to attract stars and young men without even meeting them. These are players on either different teams or players who were inspired by what he has done in the past. So what I'm looking at right now, and I think I commented on someone's post about it, saying that type of stuff is a young Shula to me. And I'm 41 years old, by the way. So I've been around in some exciting Dolphins times, but I'm telling you, I don't see coaches being able to do Gruden or maybe Tony Dungy able to sit at home and have people literally like them and want to play for them, want to run through a wall for them.
Well, that's why it was a huge investment that we made in Flores, bringing in our future coach, making sure he's the right guy. And I think that we got it right. Time will tell on this situation. We can have all the optimism in the world. Gase got me like that. But I think that we got it right this time. And unfortunately, I am coming up on the 2-hour mark for this stream. This has been another amazing one, and I'm going to try to come back again later and do another amazing stream with some of the panelists and things.
Can I just say something?
I was going to get last thoughts.
I'll just go right now then, because then I got to get out of here for my wife. But with what Sharif was just saying, I don't know if you guys followed any of the internet press conferences that the players did a couple of days ago, but basically almost every player referenced that 5-win. About how Flores basically took something like nothing and turned it into something, and I just want to go off this COVID thing. Tom Pelestro, NFL analyst, he tweeted something yesterday that's quite interesting to me. And basically he was going off someone who said that The draft staying on course means tape will rule, not workouts. Physicals remain a huge issue, obviously. So Tom Palestro responding said, the challenge created by the elimination of most pro days, workouts, etc., as team executives explain it, 30 to 40% of players on a team's draft board won't have verified measurements. 15 to 20% won't have a medical grade. And one executive told him some teams are really going to F this up.
Mm-hmm. Really?
And I just find it interesting that it's
Wow.
the one year where we have all this capital. It's such a Dolphins thing for something to go wrong and put us in this position. So scouting and tape is going to mean everything this year. So let's hope they get it right.
Yeah, but that also, I mean, it's fair for us to say that could also be a semi-excuse as well. Am I wrong in saying that? If we don't, in some cases,
I would normally probably agree with you, but the fact is we know with these pro days, each team sends out like an army of 20, 25 scouts. You know, to me, it looks like a lot of guys didn't take the combine seriously. Like, you better have had that army at the combine this year, because information, knowledge is power, especially with what you got going on right now. You need everything you could possibly get your hands on. So I don't know, man. Can you really label this excuse? We've never seen anything like this before.
I know, that's why. I mean,
well, to me,
gonna throw it out for sure.
Yeah.
Let me get your last thoughts, Sharif and Finsanity, because I got to get out of here.
well, I can tell. Well, I can tell the Dolphins that feel good about Brian Flores because one of his first jobs was being a scout in New England. So that's not going to hurt the Dolphins if they have this thing going on for a while.
Mm-hmm. Well, I surely hope so. But I appreciate you coming through, Sharif, all the way from the Bahamas, man. Keep your head up and take care of business on your end. I hope I get to see you again, homie.
All right, take care, Finsanity, Reason, TD. Peace out, man, and be good.
Thank you. Finsanity, what about you? Any last thoughts?
Fins up.
Fins up. That's all right, man. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna come back to y'all later and talk about more Miami Dolphins talk, guys. It's just been I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope that we're able to provide a little bit of entertainment for you all while we're all stuck on quarantine, pulling our hair out, whatever hair that we do have. But at the end of the day, the fact still remains we're building something special, and it's all going the right way. The way I see it right now is going the right way. We just got to stay on this trail. We have very little moves that we've made that are questionable, and that's what I like about it. Now, I know we all questioned a lot last year and in the beginning of the season last year, but now I think people are starting to see the vision that this team has and what they're trying to build. And they're starting to understand the things that we did in the last year or two were necessary for us to even get to this point. So again, thank y'all for tuning in to TD Fans Talk. Fins up, as Finsanity said. Thank you for coming through and giving us another amazing stream, Finsanity. I'll see you later, all right?
Yes, and EM and Esteban, make sure you're here.
Yeah, they got to start running, man. That's all it is. They running from those debates, but we'll get them on later. We'll talk to them. I'll see you later, Finsanity.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody. This TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Please hit that like button on your way out. We have discovered that the number one way that you can help this channel grow is by hitting that like button, because it lets your friends and family members and other YouTubers that don't even know we exist, it lets them know that we're here for their Miami Dolphins entertainment. Thank y'all again. This TD Fans Talk, and we out. Peace. And that's right, EM. I said it. You be running from this heat, man. I'm out, y'all.